Okay, looks like we are live. Just getting all the settings popped up. So, yeah, we are actually live. And usually I stream on a Sunday morning for Factorio. This time it's a Saturday afternoon. I just, well, I didn't need to have a look then, but, yeah. Basically, I just really wanted to have a crack because we're going to start Blue Science, and let's put it this way: building Blue Science in the actual mega base is probably going to be 5 or 6 episodes, if not more. It's going to be a lot of work, but what we are going to do is we're going to build Janky Blue Science, which is, I believe that's what I titled this stream. I can't remember exactly. Janky Blue Science, something like that. And we're actually going to do that because we actually need Blue Science before we could build the mega base to build Blue Science. And I'll explain that in a second, but let's go through the recipes. Let's sort of explain that now, because red and green we can basically build. We need to do some wood related stuff, and inserters and transport belts we need to make, but they don't take anything we don't already have. So the most complicated thing is electronic circuits, basic electronic components. We've got all of that. Solder we can make very easily. It just takes lead and tin, which we've already got. So yeah. Now Blue Science is pretty interesting. So sulfur we've already got. We're making it right here. This is our sulfuric acid build. We're making sulfur from sulfuric wastewater, and then we're turning the sulfur into sulfur dioxide and then into sulfuric acid. So sulfur, we got plenty of that. We got sulfuric wastewater coming out of our ears. We're actually probably dumping it in a couple of places. Yep, we're dumping it here, and we're probably dumping it here as well. So yeah, in terms of making sulfur, we could just put it on a train, probably here somewhere. Maybe beef this up a bit, put the sulfur on a train, so that's not an issue. The next bit is going to be sodium hydroxide, which is relatively easy. So if we have a look over here, sodium hydroxide is made from saline water, and saline water we can get extremely easily. We've gotten it a few times already. We basically just as part of making the purified water, which you've seen before, we get saline water. There's better ways of getting saline water later on, but for now this is good enough. Chlorine and hydrogen we kind of need. We can combine them into hydrogen chloride gas. Remember that. It'll be important in a few minutes, hydrogen chloride gas, but otherwise we can just vent them. Engine units we're already making. They take iron gear wheels, iron pipes, and steel plates. Dead easy. We've already got all of that sort of stuff, and we could make that in the mega base with a single station relatively easy. And then of course the advanced circuits are going to be the most complicated bit by far. So basic electronics components, solder, already got. Transistors are where it gets fun, but so we need silicon, silver, and plastic. Now here's where things get really interesting, and here's why we need some Blue Science before we can make Blue Science. So as you know, we've got these pure recipes already to make tin, lead, copper, and iron, and they are awesome. And what we're going to be targeting in Blue Science, the only recipe that we absolutely need, or that we really want to make Blue Science, is this one. And that one gives us pure silicon, pure aluminium, pure zinc, and pure silver. And we want all 4 of these. Nickel we don't give a crap about, fluorite we don't give a crap about, but the other 4 we do. The chunks are pretty much dead simple to make. I'm not sure where exactly the chunking recipes are, but if we have a look over here, making the chunks, you just take in some purified water. Every single one of these takes in purified water, spits out some random wastewater and some geodes. Geodes we can put on a train. Well, we are going to need geodes sooner or later, because sooner or later I want to build a much better mineral catalyst. And our better mineral catalyst recipe, if I find the damn thing, is going to be based on crystal slurry. It's going to be this one, and then we are also, that's going to be, crystal slurry comes from crystals, which come from geodes. So, yeah. So the fact that these things spit out geodes is a good thing, because we can reuse those geodes. The wastewater, we can clarify it, put it on a train, do a bit of both. So that's all good. So that process is absolutely fine. The other thing is, where was it? I've lost this recipe. I've lost it. We do need the crystal catalyst for these as well. And if we go back to here, we can see that the crystal catalyst, where is it? We haven't actually unlocked it yet. That's one of the things that we will unlock by doing this. Yeah, we'll unlock this. The crystal catalyst is pretty much just crystal seedling. And the crystal seedling you get from crystal slurry, which is the same crystal slurry we're also planning to use to make mineral sludge to make more mineral catalysts. So the same exact process that we're going to be using to bump up our mineral catalyst build later on, basically make mineral catalyst for free, we're also going to be using to make crystal catalyst. So that basically takes care of itself, that problem. Mineralized water is interesting as well, that we need that for that. But mineralized water is just crushed stone mixed with water, I'm pretty sure. So we got oodles of crushed stone. We can definitely afford to throw some of that over there. Yeah, so this is to make the crystal seedling. It doesn't require it. Yeah, so remember that basically this is going to take a total of 200 blue science. 100 and then 50 and then 50. And that gives us silicon, aluminium, zinc, and silver. Zinc is just used to make, where is it? Used to make brass, actually. And brass is a trigger tech, which is required for those new things we research. And all of these facilities actually take brass and a bit of aluminium and stuff like that. But we're going to need these to make these fancy recipes. So we're going to need a little bit of brass, which means we're going to need a little bit of zinc. So we'll have to make some zinc manually, because obviously we need zinc to make these buildings, but we can make zinc manually using these dodgy sorting. Actually, some of these dodgy ones... No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, but we can just grab some chunks, do dodgy chunk sorting, and that'll give us enough zinc to be able to build some of these tier 3 buildings so we can start getting it done beautifully. Now let's go back to the chemical plants. Okay, so we've got silicon ore, and that gives us silicon wafer. We got silver ore, which gives us silver wire. And we've got aluminium and silver. And let me show you the recipe, which is going to absolutely save our lives. It's a thing of beauty right here. So here it is, methanol gas. And if we remember correctly, methanol gas gets converted over to propane gas, which gets converted to liquid plastic, which gets converted to plastic bars. So methanol gas is awesome. Now, right now we're creating methanol gas using some dodgy naphtha-based... Like, I think we're producing propane directly from naphtha. Naphtha is a bit of a pain in the ass. You've got to produce blah, 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 blah. This is dead simple. All right, let me break this down. Carbon dioxide is coal, okay? So carbon dioxide is coal, and hydrogen gas you get from here. Hydrogen gas you get from purified water, which is just water. So basically we are combining coal and water to get plastic. And that's the thing of beauty. Now, the really complicated part of this is it needs a green metal catalyst. The green metal catalyst requires aluminium ore and silver ore. Very, very difficult ores to get, but we will get both of them with that new recipe, with that chunking process. So the chunking process gets us aluminium, silver, silicon, and zinc. And all of those together will give us pretty much unlimited amounts of plastic relatively easily. Now, there is another process to get plastic as well. You can get methanol gas from cellulose fiber, which you get from green algae, which you get from water. But this, I did the calculations, you would need hundreds of machines to get a full red belt of plastic if you did it this way. Hundreds of machines. And I'm not sure about the power needs, but it would be way too big. Whereas this is, look, this is 100 methanol gas every 2 seconds. This is 100 methanol gas every 30 seconds. So you can see how many more machines you would need. And then 20 cellulose fiber, you still need a bunch of machines. It's doable, and technically it's free plastic, completely free. You don't need to mix in anything except for a little bit of steam to convert it to propane, but my God. I think I did the math on the amount of machines. It would need to be 2 or 3 times bigger than this entire wood build in order to generate a full red belt of plastic. It would need to be massive. And I really don't want that. I mean, I'm happy. Look, it's coal and water. And a little bit of aluminium and silver. Yeah, and aluminium, you take 1 ore of each to create 10 green metal catalysts. And 1 catalyst of 100 methanol. So 1 ore of each of those to create 1,000 methanol gas. So it's not using much of the ore. So that should be fine. The ore will last us forever. And yeah, so that's plastic. Plastic completely taken care of. And that's the transistors taken care of. And then on the other side, we've got here, tin and copper plate. We've already got the ferric chloride solution. Over here, takes iron ore and hydrogen chloride gas. Do you remember when I told you how to make hydrogen chloride gas about 5 minutes ago? Actually, it was more like 10, but yeah. It's basically from chlorine and hydrogen, which we get as a byproduct of making sodium hydroxide. And the last thing is actually the worst thing, is phenolic boards, which is paper and liquid resin. Paper is made from cellulose pulp, which is made from alginic acid and cellulose fiber. Cellulose fiber is green algae. Alginic acid is brown algae. So saline water, blah, blah, blah. We could even make this if we wanted to have pure green in, because this one spits out a bit of brown. But we could just use this basic one, and whatever brown algae we're making not enough of, we use this one. And if we're making too much brown algae, then we'll have to switch over to this recipe. But whatever it is, that's paper. And then the worst part is the liquid resin. It's not super hard, but it is the worst part. So urea gas is over here. It's ammonia and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, if you remember correctly, is just coal. Ammonia is hydrogen and nitrogen, which is water and air, and red metal catalyst, which is copper and iron. So it's not too bad, but it is fairly complicated. And then the other one we need is formaldehyde, which is, again, a green metal catalyst mixed with methanol. So we're already creating methanol using a green metal catalyst. So we just put a green metal catalyst again, we get formaldehyde, and we mix those two together to get liquid resin. Liquid resin is a major pain in the ass. I'm not sure if it ever gets better later on in the game. But those are the recipes that we're going to use to get our blue science in the mega base. That is the exact process. And as you saw, we need at least 200 blue science to be able to get this recipe in order to make it happen. I also want another 700 or so blue science from our Janky build. And the reason I want that is I want to get robotics 2, advanced logistics. I'm not actually going to build second level robots, but I do want worker robot cargo size and worker robot speed. That'll give us an extra 40% speed. And it'll also give us an extra robo capacity +1. So taking us from capacity of 1 to 2. That affects cargo robots, and effectively that's increasing their speed by 100% because they need to make way less trips. So that will increase the speed at which we can get our base built, and that is quite important because I just listed about 20 new stations that we need to create for Blue Science, and it's taking us a while to create new stations. So getting faster bots will be a lifesaver, an absolute lifesaver. So yeah, this bonus stream, basically the point of this bonus stream is going to be setting up as much as possible that Blue Science. What are these robots doing? They're building this, and they've got this massive dead area where they're just not doing anything. That's right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna be handcrafting any components, but we are going to be doing a lot of stuff. That is we're not gonna actually automate Blue Science, even in a janky way. We're just gonna have a machine, we're gonna be hand feeding it. So this is 200. And then all of the bot stuff that I wanted, let's calculate all the bot stuff. So that's 150. So 225 plus 3, that's 520. Okay, 725 sides. And we've already got red and blue signs automated here. We can just chuck the red and green signs automated there, sorry. So we can just chuck the blue in there. So yeah. What we're going to do is we're just going to... Where are we going to put it? We're in range of a roboport here. Not sure that really matters, but... and I'm not sure I actually put engines into somewhere. I've got a whole bunch of engines there. I've got engines in a chest. Unfortunately, it's a little bit janky. All right. It's actually a lot janky, but it is what it is. Okay. So what we've got to do is we don't have requester chests or any of that sort of mess, so we're just going to have to do it manually. Now, right over here, we've got one single assembler, and over here, we've got like 10. So this is definitely a good place to do it. So we're going to do... filter assembler for engines. Now these stack to 50, and we're going to say 750 signs. Actually, let's say 800 signs, just to make it a nice clean number. Yeah, 800 signs, make it a nice clean number. So for that, we need 800 engines. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's our engines. Done. Sulfuric. Sulfur. Get over here. It had to be in a dead spot, didn't it? It just had to be in a dead spot. Stacks up to 200, and we need only 400. Okay, well, that's it then. Seems barely worth creating a chest, but that's that done. Sodium hydroxide. How do we make that again? Oh, well, I know how to make it, but what do we make it in? All right, so we need an electrolyzer, and we need some saline water. Can we borrow... Hello. You are spitting out saline water, aren't you? You're not spitting out a lot of it, but you are spitting out a bit of it. Hopefully this won't have any devastating consequences to my thingamabob, whatchamacallit process, but actually, we should have electrolyzers in here somewhere, shouldn't we? Electrolyzer. We do, but we only got 2. Either I didn't really automate them, or they're not doing a very good job of being automated. I guess we haven't really used them much in the mega base, so... Okay. And we need a couple of these guys. And a pipe. And just do that. Alright. This guy puts out about 60. Not sure how often it's running, but... How much sodium hydroxide do we need? We need about 800. Well, we'll just leave that chest open. That chest... Alright, so that's three of the components done already. Now, the basic electronic components and the solder never made it onto the bus, so we're going to have to go over here. And yeah. Actually, solder did make it onto the bus, didn't it? Well, for red circuits, we need 4. So we need 1200, approximately 4800. Where are these guys created again? You know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do... Can you make? You can. Alright, beautiful. Alright, then we need transistors. You can make transistors. Silicon wafer, we've actually already got. We've got monosilicon. Part of me doesn't even want to drag that up. Yeah, part of me just doesn't. Pick up over here. Power pole over there. I mean, let's do the math. So we need 1200 of these, which means we need 4800 of these, which means we need approximately 2000 silicon wafers, which means we need approximately 300 of these. I'll just put in a bit over 400 to be safe. And... okay. That takes care of that. Then we need plastic. Now, what did we say? We need 1200. So we need 4800. So we need about 1000 plastic. We do have plastic. Never made it onto the bus. We're just using it to build janky robots. But we do definitely have enough of it. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have to go off onto the belt to get the rest, but that should be fine. That's 1000. And it was 4800 divided by 5, so technically it's like 960, but we got 1000. And we're going to need a little chest. I do love having long reach. Okay. There we go. That's the plastic. Unfortunately, to get the silver wire, we are going to need to do some chunking and some funny business. But that's it. The actual circuit boards. This is where it's going to start. We've done quite a lot in quite a short amount of time in actually making the janky build, but now it's going to start getting a bit messier. So yeah, liquid resin. Liquid resin is going to be painful. Paper is not going to be too hard. And then silver is going to be a bit painful. But again, chunking is just purified water, so we already know how to do that. So ore sorting facility 2. And what's the easiest way to get this going? Alright, let's go over and grab some machines. Okay, there's so much of this crap that I just don't need in my inventory. We've got actual rolls of stuff in there. We definitely do not need rolls of anything in my inventory. Alright. Give me some ore sorting facilities. Did I make blast furnace? Looks like I made blast furnace 2s. Oh, there we go. Stored them. Over here. Don't know what else we need, to be honest. Well, let's. All right. So we're going to do some chunking. How do we do chunking? We need a flotation cell. Bronze, clay brick, and more bronze. And some electronic circuits. All right, and more clay brick apparently. Plenty of clay brick. Alright. Got a few of those. And then need some sorting. So what exactly... Alright, so when it comes to these flotation cells, we need two main things. We need silver. And silver is not too bad. Once we get the silver... Where is it? You turn the molten silver into silver wire from silver plate, but that's a pretty straightforward recipe. And then silver itself is just silver ore. So once we get some silver ore, we should be fine. And I'm going to want to get some of these facilities as well. Where did I put them? Where did I put them? These things. Okay. Can we do? That's an interesting question. Okay. Looks like we need induction furnace 2s. The induction furnace 1 is not going to cut it. That's a chemical plant. What's the other? Induction furnace and then casting machine. Did I not automate casting machines? Ah, no, because I put everything into the bloody sheet coils. And sheet coils... Anyway, so we need some of these clay bricks again. Again, we need clay bricks. And steel. Why am I not surprised? At least steel is like very, very, very stable at the moment. Okay, maybe not very, very stable, but it's pretty stable at the moment. We haven't really run out of it any time recently. Okay. Iron and stone bricks. For some reason, stone bricks one of the last things I actually put on the bus, even though it's one of the first things we ever made, but there we go. It is what it is. Alright. And casting machines. Not quite running out of inventory space yet, which is great. Basic circuit boards. Oh, there we go. There's the motherboard. Okay. So let's do the math real quick. Yeah. So we need 800 of these, which means we need 1,200 of these, which means we need 4,800 of these, which means we need approximately 3,000 silver wire. Which means we need approximately 3,000 silver ingots, which means we need approximately 3,000 silver. That's a lot of silver. That is a lot of silver. Let's have a look. You get 1 silver from there, nothing, nothing. 1 silver from there, nothing, and nothing. So what was that? Stereotyte and Bolmonium. I like Bolmonium because it gives us zinc as well. This one doesn't give us anything other than silver that we don't already have. This one gives us silicon, which technically we've already got. But zinc will be nice to stockpile, I think. Okay, so that was Bolmonium. which I think I was definitely planning on chunking that already, but it's good to know. Okay. Now, really big problem with bombonium is we don't got a lot of it. We could go over to somewhere else and... Yeah, look at this. We got really nothing of it. I think I'm going to take this anyway. We got 4 flotation cells, so we'll use 2 of them here. That's what I forgot. I forgot to get some... Oh, we got 1 here. Okay, that's good enough. We can make 1, and we've got a clarifier, so yeah. And do we have any... Well, we've got plenty of water fill. Okay. There we go. We got... You always forget something. It's just always. Alright, so you are... And then the clarifier. All right. And we're going to get rid of this stuff as well, because I really don't need it. Obviously in the mega base we'll do something a little bit fancier, but here we just throw it out. Nice and simple to throw it out. All right. Not sure why I'm putting 2 inserters here, but... Okay, geodes... Go in a chest. And then we got our things, and then we'll start sorting them. And this would be a very good time for a warehouse, which, of course, we're running out of stone brick. Well, we're not running out of stone brick, I just don't have any. So, just to sort of clarify, the main reason why I'm doing a stream on Saturday afternoon instead of Sunday morning is because I really want to get some blue signs. And it's one of those things where if it might take me like 3-4 hours to get blue signs, because it's a fairly complicated thing, and I would really like to get it. So if I do a random stream instead of my normal 2-hour stream, then I can sort of push it on for 3 or 4 hours. Not that I couldn't push it on in a normal Sunday stream. I think I'd be okay with that going a little bit longer, but anyway, let's have a look here. Okay, so I think we do silver ingots. And let's just drag that across. That'll give us those. This belt is not necessary anymore. Needless to say, a lot of this is probably going to get destroyed afterwards, but then again, we might just leave it around just in case we want some more blue science for something else. Induction furnace for silver. Alright, so it's going to be relatively slow. But then again, this one is handling all of the chunking stuff that we're getting, which is very nice. Could have more flotation cells, to be honest, but it is what it is. Casting machine. And silver plate. And then silver wire. I think we said we needed about 3,000 of this stuff. Oh, hello, hello, hello. I totally did not plan this, but we've got this right here. That is just a thing of beauty. So that takes care of a copper wire. And this will just keep going forever. So 3,000... Alright, how much? These stack to 200, so that's 2,000, so that's 3,000. Okay. Alright. Beautiful. Silver done. And we've got some zinc in here as well if we need it. We will need zinc eventually for building the tier 3 machines, like this tier 3 sorter, which we'll need for the proper mega blue base. And we won't be able to get zinc unless we do a dodgy process like this. So it'll be good to stack up some of it. Tin, silicon, slag, all useless. We could start sending those up, but this is a warehouse. It's got plenty of room, so I'm not too worried. All right, there we go. Could speed these up, but meh. The aim is not to get 800 science this stream. The aim is to get 1 blue science this stream. And then we can let the dodgy blue signs tick along in the background while we do other stuff. But I definitely want at least 1. Okay. So that's silver wire. If we have a look up here... where is it? This is just missing silver wire. And this is missing the circuit boards and the transistors. Alright, let's get stuck into the circuit boards. Ferric chloride solution. I'm venting hydrogen chloride. I'm venting the hydrogen and the chlorine at the moment, aren't I? I just said, oh, let's vent them. Why not? And yeah, so they're being vented, which was, in hindsight, a mistake. But then again, I got a lot on my mind. All right, so how much have we got already? I didn't even cap this. Which is fine. Hydrogen chloride. All right. How do we make... of course, the menu doesn't show me. So many recipes. Chemical plants. Do we have chemical plant 1s in the system? Yes, it looks like we do. Okay. Now, this spits out too much hydrogen. So we're going to need to vent some of it. Let's put a tank for both of them, but the one at the bottom will have a venter. Actually, we'll give venters to both of them. Just in case, because we don't want the sodium hydroxide to back up either. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. I always forget these things can't actually have wires connected directly to them. It's very annoying. Alright, I guess we will just use pumps then. I think, can we do this? Anything greater than 20,000? Hopefully that works. Hydrogen chloride. And we need to make ferric chloride. And how do we make ferric chloride again? Liquefier. Okay. Liquefier, which I believe we've got level 2 of these. Okay. Where's my thing? Boom, 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 boom. Over you go, and then we need to borrow some iron ore, which we just so happen to have here. And it makes it across, and it goes down here. And of course it's unpowered, but that's fine. And that will give us ferric chloride. Okay. And that will give us ferric chloride solution. And then we just need the phenolic board, which is the biggest pain in the ass in this entire game. Well, it's not the biggest pain in the ass in the entire game, but it's the biggest pain in the ass. Do I actually have... I do have belt immunity. Okay. Sometimes I like having belt immunity and sometimes I don't. There's a way to turn it off, isn't it? From down here. Could have sworn there was a way to turn. Maybe I don't have that option selected. Apparently there's a button for that. I've been missing that button. I'd love to have that button, but that would have saved me in time. I spent a lot of time just dumping those robots into chests so they wouldn't actually affect stuff. But, okay, there we go. Better late than never to find that. Do we not have level 2s? Maybe I never automated level 2s. Maybe I only automated level 1s. Or maybe I didn't automate any of them. Well, that's fine. Wait, there we go. Alright, we got some stuff coming down. So, now we need... Well, we needed... Okay, we need this. So that is going to be... like so. You are going to be... Damn it, what the hell makes those? Oh, we just need better assembly machines. The ones I have are too shit. Okay, there we go. It's funny how the normal yellow assemblers can make the advanced circuit, but you need a red one to actually make this. Cannot be crafted in this machine. Really? Again, takes another red one. Okay, fine. Alright. So we need 1200 of these, which means we need 1200 red circuit boards. These stacked here, so we need 6. That is 6. Okay. Then we just need a bunch of copper and tin plate. It would be nice if they were close. There's copper over there. I think it's easy for me to just yank them up here. A circuit board. Alright. So we need 1200 copper, 1200 tin. My inventory is full of crap again. It's just, well, I did grab maybe a bit too much of that stuff, but anyway. And if you're wondering, yes, at some point I am planning on updating this infrastructure. Oh, go away, even distribution. I'm going to update this infrastructure so that it actually takes the copper scrolls, copper sheet coils, and the copper wire coils. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off the train network, because we got them coming on here. I just haven't been using them yet. We're fine for the moment because we got a bunch of copper ore stacked up, but eventually this has got 26k, it'll fall over and then we'll stop producing more copper and we'll have to switch over. Same with the iron, but we've got it all ready to go for when we need it. Alright, tin. So again, we need 1200 tin. Which thankfully is not too bad. I don't want to drag it off here because I'm going to get so much stone and so many of those basic circuits as well. But there we go. It's quite funny. We were trying to figure out, I think, a stream or two ago what actually uses basic copper plates, because pretty much everything in this base uses copper wire, but almost nothing uses actual copper plate in the signs. For the actual signs, everything uses copper wire. So we found something that actually uses copper plate, which is kind of interesting. Okay, this is taking forever. No, we're out of tin. Tin is still very janky. Still very, very, very janky. That's alright, we can just steal some off the belts up here. That's the next thing I wanted to do, is we've got tin sheet coils as well in the mega base. So we could grab those, start throwing those across as well, which we probably will do, because, yeah, Bobmonium is looking not too healthy either. So it would be nice to get some tin sheet coils in there. Oh, I'm so close. I'm so close to getting all the tin I need. 200. Okay. We are done. Now, we basically just need one more thing, which is the, not the phenolic boards. Yeah, the phenolic boards. We just need the phenolic boards. Which is going to be extra janky. But it is what it is. And what we actually might do is we might just lay down some basic greenhouses and we'll just let these run slow time. Okay. So you're making that and that using saline water. We could probably borrow a bit of saline water from here if we really wanted to. I kind of feel like I'm already tapping this source of saline water though. I'm making any up here. Done. Look like it. Alright, time for another water pump. Okay. Alright. You are green. Oh, you're gonna be crapping me. Algae farm 2. Okay, fine. It never ends, does it? First I've got not enough stone brick, then I have way too many stone brick, and now suddenly I don't have enough again. It's just like, please, just help me out a little bit in this game, please. Okay. So you're going to produce a little bit of brown algae. We're going to be using a chest to manage that. Filter brown algae. It doesn't create much, actually, and it seems to create it very, very slowly. But okay, where's my pump? Okay, that is creating purified water. And then give me this. Ah, finally running out of iron pipes. Well, I do actually have them in the logistics setup, so that's why I haven't really run out of them before, which is very nice. Okay. That's giving me some of this. So, enable and disable that if that is less than 100. Yes, if it's less than 100, this will work. My god, this is slow. Okay, that's extremely slow. I could... Yeah, I think I'll grab some more... Actually, you know what? What am I doing here? Okay. Just to upgrade it, the bots will do it for us. Why is that power pole blocking it? I don't know. It is actually double the speed. Okay, so that's definitely worth an upgrade. Alright. So cellulose fiber. And then... That's it. That's all you need. fiber, alginic acid. Together they make cellulose pulp in a liquefier. Did I have another one of those? Oh god, I can't. My inventory is so full of crap. I don't think I do. Might as well make a level 1. There's no way we're going to need a level 2 because we're just not. There we go, level 1. We're up. Get up there, please. And where the hell was it? Cellulose pulp, there we go. And that is 1/2 of paper. No, actually, that is paper. That is paper. Okay. Okay. And that's functionally free, so we're just going to let that run. How much is that? 1.5 per second. It's about one paper per second. Which means about 1 advanced circuit per second. It certainly seems like... Oh wait, that's less. That's way less. Okay, it's going to take ages to reduce blue science at this rate. It really is. This is just a terrible... Everything to do with these algae farmings is slow. It's so slow. Can you see why I did not want to create plastic using algae farming? Because it is incredibly slow. Alright, so we need... How much paper do we need? I don't know. A lot. A hell of a lot. An immense amount. Yeah, we need 1,200 of these. 1,200 of these. 1,200 of these. 3,000. 3,000 paper. 3,000, that's approximately times 6. 3,000 times 6 is 18,000. That's 5 hours. That's 5 hours for it to create all the paper it needs. My god. Okay, what's slowing this thing down? What is slowing this thing down? We've already got 100. You know what? I'm going to speed this up because 5 hours is not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. This is 0.83. This is 1.66. Alright, so we're already slow. Not producing enough on this. 0.83. That's 1.4. It's terrible. I thought this was the problem, but they're both the problem. This is shit. This is just shit. Alright, I'm walking away. We're going to let that spill up. We're going to let it go. I'm going to get stuck into formaldehyde. Remember, the purpose of this episode is not to build 800 blue science. It's to build one and then have a process and then have the rest being built in the background. And then as we start building things, we can get the blue science going in the background. Okay. Alright, well that chest is completely useless then. You know what? I haven't been doing a lot of belts for this stuff, but I think I am going to do a belt for this. Just because I really don't want to have to deal with this, because this paper stuff is going to take forever. The other things like the sulfur, the engines, by the end of this stream, what we can probably do is we can probably just go up to the sulfur and just say, okay, done. Grab it, long reach, move it into a chest. You're not going to be able to do that with the paper. The paper, we're just going to have to let it sit there. So we might as well let it sit there. Okay. Everything else is sorted here. Okay, liquid resin. Now, can we get liquid resin sorted from here? I don't really think so, because this is using that naphtha to propane. We could get some urea gas. I'm pretty sure we're making ammonia here somewhere. No, we're not. We're making the red metal catalyst, but using the red metal catalyst to crack naphtha for propane. Whereas what we need it for is ammonia. Okay. Well, ammonia is not too hard. It still makes me cry a little bit, but it's not too hard. It's air and water. Okay, so it's air and water. That's not too bad. All right. Let's go and get some supplies down here. Stone brick, of course we need stone brick, tons of it. You know what? I'm getting rid of the small power poles. They do not... wooden chests, burner and sorter, these stupid big chests. So much crap we can get. I don't really need train stops. I'll keep the car. I'll lose the lights. Display panels. Yeah, no. Don't need the pumps. Why do I keep getting batteries? Oh my god. Okay, that's bought us a little bit more space. Alright. One, and let's get another couple, just to be safe. Running low on clarifiers, so let's get a couple of those. Iron and circuits. And more iron for that. Alright, I'll probably need a bunch. How many of these guys do I have? I've got 4, okay. We'll get a bit more stone bricks so we can get some of them. That's not too bad. Another 5. Chemical plants are definitely in the system. Actually, I think these might be in the system as well. Okay, alright. So... we need hydrogen, which means we're going to be using exactly the same recipe that we just used to make hydrogen chloride before. Purified water, chemical plants. Give me, you know what? Give me some chemical plants. Does it tell me how many are? It does. There's 20 in logistics storage. All right, give me 10 of them. Give me 10 of them. Am I in? Yes, I am. I'm in the logistics network at the moment, which is pretty cool. Okay. It's purified water. We do not need that, I'm pretty sure. Very nice. Okay, give me those. I can't wait for these guys to give me the chemical plants. Let's just paste them down here. Okay, I'm missing something. I'm missing something. Was it in a liquefier or something? Oh, it was saline water. But it was still using this building, wasn't it? No, it was an electrolyzer. Oh, I'm losing my shit here. Okay, well, we need an electrolyzer then, I guess. Okay, and then we need to throw away the purified water. Let's get some electrolyzers as well. Yeah, I've got some of those in the network. Electrolyzer. That's what we were looking for. Throw this in a random chest because we don't care about it. Hydrogen. Sorry, chlorine, get rid of. Alright, so we got some hydrogen. Then we need an air thingy. Where are my chemical plants? Okay, so we need an air thingy, which I don't see any of. I for some reason I thought I had tons of them just lying all over the place, but apparently not. Let's get that stuck in there. The air filters always really piss me off because A, they're a lot slower than they should be for something that big, and B, they require you to select a recipe and there's only ever one recipe. Like that's maybe like 10 hours later in the game, there's another recipe. Okay, chemical plant. Oh, look at that. We got iron and copper right there. That's a thing of beauty. Okay. Hydrogen. Vent the oxygen. and put down a storage. Actually, no, we're not going to put down storage because we need to convert it to urea gas, which takes carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is made from I'm guessing it's a liquefier. If I had to guess, I'd say yeah, it's a liquefier. Please tell me I got liquefiers. Yeah. I can never remember. Apparently I didn't automate electrolyzers, but I did automate liquefiers. Okay, not confusing in the slightest. Okay, that's going to be a red metal catalyst. Shift L. Poles. Dun, 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 dun. And give me some of these. They create 10 each, so creating 8 of them is pretty sweet. Where is my liquefier? I don't see it. I built it, but I don't see it. It should... These things... Okay, so these things are organized approximately by tab. Because here you can see here there's got the water pumps, and then you've got the coal and the carbon, which are the top here. Okay, now there it is. Oh yeah, liquefiers. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and then... And that is going to be carbon dioxide. I'm not sure how much of this stuff we actually need. I'm really not. So I don't want to just dump a bunch of coal here and just say well done. Like out of a chest or something. I want to actually grab some coal off the belt. Okay, this might be a problem. We do not have coal on the belt. What happened to coal? Did we ever put it on the belt? No, it ended over there. It ended over there. We didn't take it any further. I guess we didn't need to. This is interesting. The iron ore that we're using for our catalyst is... And for our ferric chloride solution is only being supplied by this 20k, and as soon as this runs out we're going to replace it with sheets which do not have actual iron ore coming out of it anymore. So that's going to be interesting. We're probably going to have to go over to the mega base and we're just going to have to fill up our inventory with iron ore and then dump it in for the temporary blue science if we start running out. Okay, I needed coal, didn't I? There's no other way to make carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Okay, hold up a sec. Hold up a sec. Son of a bitch. Okay. Well, that's news. All this time we've been venting carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Okay. Okay, because this is using the anything, we can just literally reuse that. Not sure if this is going to be producing enough, but I'll take it. I'll take it. If we were smart, we would have been putting that in a chest beforehand, and then we could have stockpiled a ton of it. But yeah, I mean, how much do we actually need? 50 per... I don't know, exactly. We'll let that go, and then we'll come back later on and we'll thread some coal through to here. But that might be enough for now. Okay, so that's urea gas, which is 1/2 of what we need for liquid resin. H. What's slowing you down? Ammonia, nitrogen. The blue hell is going on here. Okay. It would help if it was actually connected. I'm sure. God, this thing's so slow. It's literally pulling air out of the atmosphere. You think it would be a bit faster than that. Okay. Now we got some ammonia. Now we just need some carbon. Are you not... Oh, we're just waiting on the tank to be put down. But this guy's already backed up on carbon dioxide, so... That will do us for now. But, yeah, it's definitely a priority to get some coal in there. Okay. That's it for... Except for one thing. That's it. We need formaldehyde. Let's go into FNEI. Because methanol is a bit hard to get at the moment. But, okay. Methanol. Don't even talk to me about cellulose fiber. Screw that for a joke. Alright. Methane, and then we got this recipe which needs aluminium and silver. Haven't got aluminium yet, so I don't really want to hit this yet. I'd prefer to just whack some methane. I do have methane coming out of here. Yeah, we do have a little bit of methane, but this process is dead. It's so dead it's not even funny. We can actually get it to work though. Did I already hack one of these? I don't think I did. Maybe I did temporarily and then moved it. Okay. Steam cracking of methane. And that produced methanol. What the hell are we doing here? We're cracking methanol and then we're throwing it away. Oh, God, I just realized. To get formaldehyde, we still need a green metal catalyst. Which means we can't avoid having aluminium. Oh, God. We might as well make methanol using this solution then, because hydrogen is easy. Carbon dioxide is... I mean, look at this. We got hydrogen here. We got carbon dioxide here. We might as well just use... If we're going to have to get green metal catalyst anyway, we might as well just do it like this. Alright. There we go. Okay. There we go. Right. You are going to be creating methanol. You're going to be creating formaldehyde. Let's move them a little bit further away. Okay. And yes, the icons of these machines are extremely confusing, but it is what it is. Okay. And then... Job done. So... okay, that's fair. Yanking them out of the wrong place, but... Okay, we fixed that up. Not that it... Why is that not working? Why has this got full ones in it? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Half... Don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time. It's just a thing. I'm sure this can get imbalanced if it decides it really wants to pick up. That's not what I wanted to do. Drop off. Pick up here. And pick up here. Alrighty. And then we're going to need another bunch of these things. Iron to make the frames. And once we've got the iron... Okay, that should be more than enough. And then we need aluminium and silver. And then we are good. This has actually been quite fast. I fully expected it to take at least 3 or 4 hours to get some blue science, but it's been surprisingly quick. And our paper is actually, I mean, it's surprisingly quick. It's not too bad. All right. Put that in that one, and we'll put the other one in the other one, and then silver and aluminium. Okay. Okay. How? All right. So we already got silver. I hate to try and take silver from this source, but we really don't have a choice. Aluminium is realistically it's going to be rubite because, like, this is running out. We don't have this. This is running out. We don't have this. So it's got to be one of these two, and so it's going to be rubite. Thank God we built an extra setup to do the... well, we didn't build an extra setup, but we created extra flotation cells. So that is excellent. And we got some extra machines still lying around. We do need to split off some silver. How much silver? I'm not sure exactly. Let's set up these flotation cells and then we'll do the math. And we'll try and figure out how much silver all we need to save. Because right now we're creating a lot of silver, but not really that much. Okay. Do that down here. Do that. I don't know why I'm trying to line up these janky builds, but it's just a habit. It's just a habit. Alright, so you are going to be rubite. You're going to be producing the cyan geodes. I can't wait to start working with geodes because they're actually quite a lot of fun. And just reuse that purified water source because I don't think it's... I think it's producing more than enough. Clarify, I think it is nitric acid actually. Alright. Bob's your uncle, and that just is crushed rubite. And we need another warehouse. Look at that! I'm actually low on everything. Instead of just being low on stone brick. I call that a success. So, moving across to create some of these guys. I could create a smaller one, but what the hell? It's not too bad. I gotta say, our steel is... it looks like it's flowing freely. Good, that's just because I picked up it. Most of the time, it's really backed up. I think it's because tin is so backed up. I think tin is the thing that's causing our base to fall over at the moment. And when we fix up tin, then steel will start to flow a little bit faster. But it's nice to see that steel is backed up, even if it's because something else is falling over. Because I swear to God, like, this is episode, what, 19, 18, something like that. And for the last 10 episodes, ever since we built steel, it's been falling over. And we've fixed it like 3 or 4 times. And I think finally taking a train of these beautiful steel coils, which if you remember, 1 steel coil becomes 4 steel plates. I think that's finally caused it to happen. All right, beautiful. Aluminium ore. Okay, and theoretically that's it. All we need to do is drop aluminium and silver into here and we're all good. Now, and obviously we need to actually get this liquid resin over to here, whack over some pipes. We can do that now. God, I love books. Alright, so let's do some maths. So we said we needed 1,200 of these. Yeah, 1,200 of these guys. Which means we need 6,000 liquid resin. 6,000 liquid resin is 12,000 formaldehyde. 12,000 formaldehyde is 120 green metal catalyst. 12,120 green metal catalyst. And we also need 12,000 methanol, which is 120. So there's 240 total green metal catalyst. 240, which means we need 24 aluminium and 24 silver. This is what I'm saying. Look at that. We've got 36. We're done. Turn off this. Give me 24 silver. This is the beautiful thing about these catalysts. You think, oh my god, we got to use these bloody catalysts to make plastic. We got to use the catalyst to make formaldehyde, blah, 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 blah. The sheer amount of ore that these guys use is minuscule. And look, this silver ore stacks up to 200. So we're going to have a train of 8,000 silver ore pulling into the plastic station. It's going to use incredibly... It'll need like one train every 10 hours or something stupid like that. It's going to be ridiculous. Yeah, all right. We're just waiting on the silver now. We'll go over, we'll grab the silver, we'll shove it in there. And to be honest, I was expecting this stream to be a little bit longer. It's not going to replace the stream tomorrow. We're still going to do the stream tomorrow, the normal one on Sunday morning. But I think I might keep this one going a little bit longer. I've actually got viewers on this one. Sunday morning is like 2 or 3 viewers is like a max. Right now I got 10, which is pretty impressive. But then again, it's Saturday afternoon. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of people in the US who are staying up to midnight or something like that, but it's all good. It's all good. So we need 24. I'll wait till 36 to line it up with the aluminium. And for the rest of the stream, we'll probably improve slightly the process of creating the blue science. Because the paper, I'm a little bit worried about the paper. We'll grab everything else, we'll drag it in, and we'll hook it all up to a process that actually puts it in the labs. And then we'll start working on the science, and we'll see what else we can do. We might do a few other odd jobs. Hooking up these copper and these irons in. What I might actually do, thinking about it, is I might actually cut off this iron early. I mean, we got 15k left, but I'll cut it off early. And because we cut it off early, all of the iron will go up here into this process. And we're still actively using that. So that'll give us a nice little buffer. And when we cut this off, when eventually these run out, that's when we'll start to pull in the iron sheet coils. But the rest of the iron ore that we create will solely be going up to this process up here. Might as well just do that. It all ends up at the same place anyway. Alright, how much we got here? 45. Okay, that's more than enough. Let's go over. Silver is doing okay. We won't grab any of that yet. Although it's still going to be a little bit of time before that silver chest is full, but it should be all good. We could also talk about some more tech that we're going to do. I've got this nice little simple notepad, which I annoyingly haven't actually closed the entire stream, but... Oh, what did I just do? Did not mean to do that. Oh, those stone bricks are nice to walk on. That'll actually be nice, getting... I will eventually concrete the entire mega base. That'll be a little while, though. I probably could build concrete, and in fact, I think some of the tier 3 buildings may actually require concrete, but... Yeah, the bots are struggling enough already, so I don't want to put too much stress on them. And concreting is so bad. Like, they just do not know how to deal with it. Alright. There we go. We've got some of that stuff. This is running. This is running. This process is quite slow, but we do have some circuit boards actually running. And we've got a decent amount of paper. And it's actually stacked up. It's actually backed up. Oh god, okay. I really do not want that process to back up because it's quite slow. So we're going to do that as well. That'll stop it from backing up. Alright, now let's go ahead and let's start getting some buildings to actually make the blue science. And we can start collecting from all those random chests that we set up at the start of the stream. And I suppose we'll kind of do it properly. Not that this base will ever do blue science properly, ever, but we might as well do a little bit of it. Oh god, still using those old power poles. Old power poles. Okay, shift L, shift L. Come on, bots. There we go. And this stuff is kind of slow, so we'll do a... try and do a few different machines. Okay. Pick up, drop, and then pick up, drop. I'm not sure how much of this stuff will be able to fit just in one chest. Maybe this would be a good place for a warehouse. Or a silo. Yes, we'll do a silo. Oh, I messed that up. Drop, pick up, please. Where's my silo? The silo that we built the entire train network around so far. Which is kind of cool. Alright, so we said 800, so we need 1200 of a whole bunch of things. Is it time to get the car? I think it's pretty much time to get the car. And I have fuel. Hooray. Hooray. So let's start off going and getting the sulfur and trying not to wipe out our base while we do it. Did I already run something over? It looks like it. I can see a flashing icon on the map. Okay. I'm not going to get any closer without destroying something critical, so we're just going to run the rest of the way. Okay. 400 sulfur. Check. Let's go get the engines next. God, these trees. If only I had bots. Well, if only I had bots with actual free time. What are my bots actually doing at the moment? Not much. Okay, they finished all the tasks. We're going to start them creating stuff over here. Because we're going to need a bunch of stations over here. Because this is where all of our all of our chunking is going to be doing, all of our ore. We're not going to do chunking on separate stations. We're going to do chunking in line. I'm kind of putting down these things blind, but I think they should be all right. Station here, station here, station here. Okay, that should be enough for now, and then we'll continue pushing out there because we're, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one station per ore. So we'll have a station for silicon ore, and it'll do the chunking in the station. So it'll basically crush the two different base ores that it needs. Well, yeah, it's kind of, it'll chunk like sapphire and stereotype or whatever the hell it needs. It'll, yeah. It'll crush them, then it'll chunk them. And then it'll basically mix them together using the new catalyst and create the ore there. So it'll look exactly like the same ore stations we already have. It'll just be a little bit more complicated. You're good. 800. 400. 800. Okay, that's good. Sodium hydroxide is a decent amount there. I'll come back for that. How much did we need again? 800. So we need 800. we can get some from here as well. That's very nice. Okay. Warehouse, all the engines, all the sulfur. 800 sodium hydroxide. I remember the last Bob's Angels run I did. It was probably like 8 years ago, something like that. Ooh, that's quite a lot. All right. That is quite a lot. I don't think we need this one anymore. Actually, no, we do. It's creating the ferric chloride. God, this machine's so slow. We could replace it with one of these. Actually, it goes from 0.5 to 1. Actually, there's not much of an increase. These bloody... Look at the circuit boards. Actually, 5 seconds. That's not too bad. Anyway, sodium hydroxide, what did we say? Need 800. So, there we go. Dum. That's 3 of the components. Then we just need the last one. And unfortunately, we've got the machines a little bit spread out all over the place. I'm going to actually close that. Before the stream ends, we'll go through it if we got some time. It's down here, isn't it? Okay. Down here. Let's have a look at the status of this stuff. That's not doing anything because it's running out of transistors. This one's used the silver wire. Everything else is probably okay. Alright. Silver wire. How much did we say? 1200, 4800. 4800 times 60%, just under 3000. Is that 2880? I think it is. I think 60% of 4800 is 2880. I might just be a genius. I might just be a genius. And I'm definitely not just flexing. But yeah, okay. It's 2880. We are lacking that number by a fair amount. What were we using this for? We were just using this for making aluminium. We kind of did it already, didn't we? We kind of did. We made all the aluminium we needed. Alright, I'm going to cut that off. We're going to take all of this crush. And we're going to... How many of these steel sheet cores? I just picked up 48 steel in like a quarter of a second. That's incredible. Take all of that in there. Put that all in there. And we're going to repurpose this. Because clearly we are not getting enough silver in here. Always forget how to do the filter. Silver. Ore. Thank you very much. Alright. Yep, that insert is definitely fast enough. Okay. Well, that has improved this process by a fair amount. I'm very shocked that we still haven't wasted this belt, but apparently these guys, yeah, look at it, it's taking less than 1 crush per second. My god, that is slow. And I'm sure that us just crushing and floating and chunking all of this bobmonium is totally helping our tin supply. It really is, because just look at that. It's just going beautifully. Okay. I'd really love to just take 800. Well, here's the thing, right? We need 800, but we need 200 for the first research and 600 for the robots. Whatever. It was here. 1, 2, 3. We'll just take this silver ore. We got plenty of space left for the other stuff. If I really wanted to automate it, I could build it up, but we can't automate it anyway, because to automate it, we need to send the aluminium up as well, and blah 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 blah, and get the sulfur down and get the engines across, and blah 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 blah. See, we're not really going to be doing that. That's very messy. This process is going to take you forever anyway. I mean, you haven't really seen it yet, but you know how the other circuit boards were slow? These ones are just as slow. These ones are painful. But, okay, silver wire. Where is my... I didn't have a silver wire chest. We're just going to put it in here. Yeah, this... Transistors are slow. These are slow as well. Okay, how much have we got? Almost exactly 100 out of the 1200 we need. It's just this process is just slow. That's all right. That is okay. We've got it done now. We're going to get our very first red circuit. Do we get an award for this? I do have the milestones mod installed. Milestones. Okay. Apparently no milestone for the first red circuit. But there is one for the first blue science, chemical science pack, which is nice. Give me one more of those, and long range. Oh no, we can't. We got to put it directly into the machine, otherwise that 3 will be spread out across all 3 of the machines and nothing will get built. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on. Oh, this thing takes forever. Ugh. So slow. So slow. There we go. First chemical science pack. And it took forever. I was only produces 2. Okay. I thought for some reason it would produce 3, but anyway. So, now that we have, we can't actually do anything yet because we need to get this brass out of the way. We can do cement. We can do that. We can't... Alright, let's get brass out of the way. Because brass is not too bad. I mean, we got the zinc right now. So, zinc... Brass is copper and zinc ingots. Zinc ingot... Oh, it's just the ingots. And the ingots... Why do you have to do this to me? Why do you have to... I mean, we've got everything there. But it takes a new building. And it takes a bunch of other crap that I really don't want to have to deal with right now. That I don't want to have to route around. Just give me a break, please. Please. Zinc. At least we don't need zinc for science. We just need it for making the buildings that we need to make the science. But we probably actually need it later. I think there might be some sort of zinc battery. If we have a look. Battery. Yeah, alright, battery 3 is silver zinc. Yeah, there we go, silver zinc battery. I'm pretty sure we do need that for like yellow science or something like that. Some BS. Maybe not. Where is yellow science? It's got a very nice split. Like all 3 of these advanced science just needs red, green, and blue in order to get. Okay. It needs lithium ion batteries, not silver zinc. That's right. Silver zinc is some crazy battery that you probably need for some sort of rocket part. Oh, look at this. A radio thermoelectric generator. Surprisingly doesn't take a silver zinc battery, but I don't actually know. I think maybe what actually needs the silver zinc battery? I'm lost. I kind of want to know now because it seems like a stupid battery that I'm never going to want to make. Look at all these very, very... And a satellite, yeah. Okay, satellite. I knew it was something about rockets. And very high-level weapons and batteries and all that sort of stuff. So we'll probably need some of it at some point. Definitely for sending off rockets, because, of course, it's a mega base, so we will need to be sending off rockets. But, yeah. What the hell did we come down here for again? I've completely forgotten. We came down here to get... Oh, that's right. We came down here to get some zinc. Alright, well, we've got plenty of zinc. Even got a little bit of zinc in here. I'm not sure how we got... Oh, that was from... That's from the new Bolmonia. What the hell is going on here? Yeah. Wastewater. Yeah. Sulfuric wastewater. Ah, okay. That explains it. Still had a bunch of the old wastewater in there. This one is fine. Okay. That's right, zinc. So we need oxygen and we need molten lead. And and this gets made at a chemical furnace. So we got oxygen here. We got molten lead here. Alright. Should be able to jerry-rig something here. Zinc spits out a bunch of these gases. What are they actually spitting out? Oh, it's just sulfur dioxide. I could have sworn it was two different gases, but it's just no, it's just the one gas. All right, oxygen. H, please. Swap those around. And give me some oxygen. It's nice that the lead process is using oxygen as well. It really spits out lead ingot as well. Okay, just give me a sec here. Zinc ore. Alright, now how do we get zinc ingots? Alright. That's a crappy recipe. That's a better recipe. It doesn't take in any lead. It doesn't spit out any lead. And then we got zinc cathodes, which are zinc oxide, which are zinc pellets, which are blah, 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 blah. Look at that 5-step process. My God. But yeah, okay. So this process only takes... There's a surprising amount of really useful recipes that only take blue signs. I'm not sure what purple and yellow and pink signs are used for, but I think as far as core recipes go, they're not used for as much, like, core things. I don't think we'll really have to rush through them. I think once we got blue signs really up and running, then we'll be able to sort of go to town. Okay. Do we actually... We need to make a brass plate, don't we? Oh, bloody oath. Casting machine. Brass. Okay, that's relatively simple. Don't know if we'll ever actually... Well, I mean, we'll need it, but we won't need it for the temporary signs. Okay. You need a bunch of copper ingots as well. Hopefully. That will definitely be enough to give us a little bit of brass. There we go. Trigger tech. Come on, baby. Okay, that's brass done. Oh, we need 10. Come on, there we go. There we go, beautiful. All right, cement. Now we can get this one queued up, and then we can get this one queued up. And while we're here, we'll get the rest of our stuff queued up as well. The rest of the recipes that we, I wouldn't say desperately want. We desperately want the ore-related ones. The rest of them, I just really would like, and I cannot for the life of me see the robots in here. I'll find it in a second. I'm just been struck temporarily blind by overexposure to this game. There we go. Okay. And robot speed, and so that is everything that our temporary blue signs is required to get to us. So what's left to do right now is, hang on a second, it's been like a few minutes since we got here. Okay, it helps if I switch the inserter back around. We've got about 340 silver ore that we could be switching over. Okay, well that'll spin back up. So, we need to do some manual transportation of this silver, which is fine. We need to wait for that to fully get up. Not sure how long that'll take. We could do the math if we really wanted to. I'm not sure I do. Oh, look at this. The solar is all done. All we've got here is these stupid things. And if you remember correctly, these seed generators require an actual tree. And not just any tree, but a fancy tree. And we don't really have many of those anywhere. I do have them assigned to grab me, and they haven't grabbed any, so basically we can grab this special deconstruction planet. Oh, there's 4 trees there. There's another bunch of trees there, just in the areas that we've sort of recently expanded into. Okay, no, there's actually quite a few trees there. Okay, good. I like that. That might be enough. Well, alright, so we'll collect all those fancy trees. We don't have a requested chest, but we do have these in storage chests, which have a filter on them, which is kind of not quite the same, but pretty decent. Alright, so silver wire, pretty good. Let's have a look here. This one started to slow down again based on this building. We could upgrade that to a red one. I don't think I have any in storage, but we'll see. And yeah, you know what? I'm doing it. Am I doing it? No, you know what? I really do want this to just be able to run in the background. That's the thing. Because I know it's going to take a while, and I kind of want it to run in the background. So we're going to be setting it. I'm not going to set a belt up for everything, but for these silver wires, I think it's fine. It's more stuff that I might have to tear down later. Look, let's put it this way. I might tear it down later. Or I might turn around and say, you know what, no, I kind of want this research as well. Or, you know what, I kind of want that research as well. And then I just start updating things a little bit. And to get to the point where suddenly all of the hand movement of things is no longer required. And basically the process becomes fully automated. Okay, that's full. That's slow. That's very, very, very slow. That's extremely, extremely slow. That won't even get us to the end of that first research. 58 of those. 95. And I've still got some... Have I got some left over? No, because they're stacked to 200, so I could put the entire stack in there. Alright, beautiful. Well done. So, that's basically the science mostly automated. We've still got some things like paper, which are going to start to slow us down. They're already starting to slow us down. But pretty much everything else, let's just go through it. So, the 3 other ones are fine. The electronic circuits... this is fine. This is fine. And we've even got it belted over, so that one's completely sold. Is just the boards. And if we go over to the boards, the liquid resin should be fine, although this carbon dioxide is a bit of an issue. So I did say I wanted to send some coal over there like a million years ago. I really don't want to, though. What are the other ways to make carbon dioxide? Carbon monoxide, no. Green metal catalyst, no, no, no. Wood pellets are actually not that hard to make, but still, no. and then crazy recipes. And then that's the one that we're already using. Okay, you know what? If I can do a belt of silver ore, then I guess I can do a belt of coal. It's not too far away. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I just put coal on the bus. Because it kind of already should have been on the bus. I mean, it's coal, kind of already should have been on the bus. Alright, we can put it just below wood. Another product that I didn't put on the bus until really, really late for some reason. Okay. Should not, that did not work. That did not work. That didn't work either. Okay, that's better. And that's better. And there we go. That's coal on the main bus. And now we're just going to, yeah, get it up, get some carbon dioxide stuff going. Whereabouts was it that we needed this? It's right about here. Yeah, right about here. Okay, beautiful. That's a relatively clean area to throw some coal up. Once again, if you're building a main bus, try not to build it like this, where you have more that have a wider bus section than your underground belts can handle. Because I did that because I thought I was going to have a ton of different things in there, and I wanted to make it nice and compact, and yeah, it was definitely a mistake. So don't do that. Always make sure, especially for yellow belts in this, because they've got a nice big gap. That's like a 6 gap. So I definitely should have done that. But anyway, that's going to totally take care of our carbon dioxide needs. And we've already got a, actually, we've already got a proper thingamy-bob throwing them out there, so don't need to do anything else there. And that should be it. Eventually we'll run out of those, but by then we'll have our science. I'm not gonna do any more belts. I don't think it's starting to get ridiculous, the amount of belts that I'm putting over for this random stuff. I kind of want to though. That's not actually that far. It's not actually that far. Okay, you know what? We'll do it. I'm putting random dodgy belts everywhere now. It's going to become full spaghetti. And then once it becomes absolute full spaghetti, then I will be happy. Oh, that's extremely awkward. It actually did reach. Okay, beautiful. I suppose that means we have to belt these guys out as well. Might as well. I mean, look, we're getting to the point where everything that's being made to the left is being made in the mega base, and we can just start to belt it in. So at that point, we really don't need to make it here anymore. This can just become a base which is basically just designed to build buildings, and that will only happen until we get what is it? All right, so here's the plan. So we're going to get blue science and red and green science fully done in the mega base. They will be completely 100% done. They'll be going at a decent rate, not mega base rates, but we'll have like a decent amount of them going, like a decent base, like a full red belt of each science, I think is probably a good place to aim for. I'm not sure if you consider that mega base, but yeah, 30 per second, decent for each science. Well, 30 per second is 1.8k per minute, which is kind of mega base. So yeah. And then once we're going to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to research all the red, green, and blue stuff. And then we're going to go for, let me see if I can find it. This logistics system. We're probably going to handcraft. We're going to do some funky transport science packs. Going to make 100 of these guys. Manually, they don't look too hard. I mean, flying robot frames, we already got them. Brass chest, express transport belt, express inserter. To be honest, we could probably get this we might even be able to get this like within a couple of hours, because all we really need is this, which is 150, that's another 200, and then unlock transport science packs and then get this. So another 400 or 500 blue science and 100 logistics science. And this is not too hard to craft. And then the only problem with that is that these obviously take advanced circuits. And our advanced circuit build is pretty crap at the moment. It's crappy and it's janky. So what I'll probably do is I'll wait, because once we have blue science automated in the mega base, then we'll have a huge amount of red circuits at our disposal. Then we'll handcraft this. We'll get this, and then we'll build the mother of all malls. We'll build a mega base mall, and excuse me for a sec, I need a drink. There we go. Thank God for a little application called Push to Talk, which I have assigned to a push to mute. So all I do is hold down the space button, and it automatically mutes my microphone, which is very nice. Yeah, I've been coughing all episode, and you haven't noticed because I keep muting myself, which is awesome. But whenever you hear a little gap where I'm not talking, it's because I'm coughing. And I'm coughing quite a lot. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to make a really big base. We're going to have, I don't know, 6 of these stations, something like that. Each one is going to have their own designated stop for different goods. And we're probably gonna have them do something like I don't know, passive provider chests or something like that, and have a big old robot mega mall. But I gotta think a bit carefully about it, because the thing is, we do have a massive logistics network spread across this entire base, and I don't want a bot, like if we build the mega mall over here, I don't want a bot grabbing resources from down here to go in an assembler over there. So we might mess with these robots a little bit, and maybe we'll do something like, okay, do a bit of a train line and then build a completely separate logistics network down here. But we can't. It is the thing. We can't actually build a separate logistics network for a mega mall, because we need the mega mall to be in the same logistics network as this, so that all of the robots who are building things in the main base can get them from the mega ball. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably just shut down this base. As soon as we got the mega ball that's being fed off the mega base, then we'll probably just shut this base down. Just stop inputting things into it. Because everything here, all of these buildings that are being built, we'll probably just rebuild them in the mega ball. But anyway, I digress. What were we doing here? We can sort of help blue science along a little bit. We could also do some... Let's do some bit of mega base stuff while we're looking. Okay, so the fact that tin sheet coils aren't running is bad. I have a feeling it's mineral catalyst. It's always mineral catalyst. Yeah, we got no ore coming in. We got no ore being produced because of lack of mineral catalyst. Yeah. So that's a thing. Oh, we've actually run out of slag. That's interesting. How did we run out of slag? I thought we were dumping tons of it in here. Maybe not. No. We're not really producing that much slag anymore. Because all these wacky sorting recipes are really dying down. They're all being replaced. And this one's almost completely gone. 8.3 sapphirite is all we've got left in this entire base. And we don't want to start the stereotype process up again because we're already overloading on copper. We've got almost 160k in there that we're slowly working through. All right. I think it is about time. Let's just do a double check. All right, so we got 67 in here. We still got a decent amount of these. They're not really being built fast enough. It's a paper problem. All right. I am going to go ahead, start looping in the iron sheet coils because we're probably about 10-15 minutes from having iron completely fall over. And then once that happens, once I get that done, then we're going to go back and we're going to fix the paper. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I mean, we did cut it off before, so it's kind of fully expected, but at the same time, just wowzers. It definitely fell over pretty quick. All right. Iron sheet coils. Do I send it up here? Might as well. Oh, that was not what I wanted. If I do Control Z... Okay, it is doing it in fairly big chunks. I do like that. Okay. Let's move it up here instead. So we're not directly intersecting with the copper line, because that is a little bit awkward. Hey, we're directly intersecting with the iron line now. Okay. Actually want it over here, but it's close enough. I'm not going to fix that one up. Alright, let's get some iron sheets going. Okay, whoa. Don't know what happened there. But you do 4 per second, so 4 of these is 16, which is the 15 that we definitely need. And before I forget about that, let's put that one down. Alright. 4 per second definitely needs the better ones. And there we go. Shift in, shift in, shift in, shift in. Boom, 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 boom. And there we go. So half a yellow belt of this will produce 2 full yellow belts of iron plate. And we actually need a second inserter over here. And a second insert over here, and then we'll make this one a near one as well. Actually, we'll make that a far one, and then we'll make that a near and a near as well. It just has to do that to fully saturate it, otherwise it doesn't quite get it fully saturated. But anyway, that's all good. We could delete this block here now if we really wanted to. I'm not super in a rush. Okay, I just realized if we delete the copper ore supply, we're also going to have trouble with the copper ore going up here. We don't need the copper ore going up there because we can replace that, but with the copper ore going up there for the things, and we also need a bit of copper ore here. So what I think we should probably do is we'll get rid of some of these. Get rid of that. What the hell? Oh, is that a red belt? Oh my god, that is a red belt. Okay, well we don't need that to be a red belt anymore. Imagine I had a red belt on copper. That's crazy. I'll get rid of that as well. So this is going to an alternate copper wire set up specifically for green circuits, and this one is just copper plate. So now we're going to hook up those other two belts we had. And while we're down here... Oh, I already got silver sent across. It's not looking too great, but... Okay, this is our copper plate. Okay. Now, because of the way this works, it should just work. Because obviously this will run out first, and then when this one runs out, these ones will start working. But these ones won't work until the belt is actually emptied out, which is nice. And then, let me just double check up here. It's literally producing copper plate, but it's just been converted over to copper wire. We could put copper sheets over there as well. Part of me just wants to send... Well, is it actually better or worse? Let's have a look here. Okay. So the same amount of molten copper creates twice as much copper wire coils. And so that's a 2-to-1. This one, the sheet coil is 4-to-1. There's 4-to-1. Okay, so there's really, in terms of the raw ore used, there's really no difference between taking the sheet coils and sending them up or taking the wire coils. So, to be honest, I'm not actually sure why I took the wire coils over here. Because we really don't... It doesn't give us any extra help, is what I'm saying. The wire coils will 100% be using them, but maybe I won't actually send them over here. And what we can do... Well, we've already got 20,000 of them here. That's a bit awkward. It's quite awkward. You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to switch this over to be the tin sheet coils. And tin sheet coils. And we won't even send over the tin wire coils either. It'll just be the tin sheet coils. Oh, we've already got trains with tin sheet coils on them. Alright. And here's what we do here. This is going to be a little bit of... Maybe not... Maybe genius is too strong a word, but... Alright. Now, the same process here. This thing going over here. That puts a little bit of a wrinkle in my plan, but... That's okay. Alright. Here's what we do. Copper sheet coils go right. I'm out of belts. It is not a very good time to be out of belts here. That's all right. So what we're going to do, here's what we do. We go into ghost mode. And we do that. And then these copper wire coils, we just throw into the base somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where we throw them in, but we throw them in and then they start getting used. And we'll use them up, and when they're all fully used up, then that belt will just be empty. But they'll get used because, I mean, look, what else am I going to do with 20,000 copper wire coils? I've got to use them somehow. So, yeah, we'll find a way to use them. Probably chuck them into green circuits or something like that. Although that's a... Maybe I'll just chuck them in my inventory and throw them. Is there a way I could get a train over there? Yeah, have a look. Alright, let's have a look at the trains. Groups. Copper wire. Okay, this is not good. This is what happens when you rename train stations. Okay. This is what happens when you rename train stations. Unload. I think that was the only one. Okay. Thankfully... Thankfully, that shouldn't be an issue anymore. Alright, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop renaming train stations because it's, things like that happen. I don't have a train group yet for any tin sheet coils, so that's not the issue. These three are all part of a logistics group, a train group, so when I remove from one, I remove from them all. Yeah, okay, that scared the crap out of me for a second. Alright, gotta remember, stop doing that. Alright, still need 2 of these guys. Of course, it's low on steel. Alright, got a few more red assemblers. Chuck them straight in the trash. And... I think of the trees. We definitely got the trees, so there's only one tree though? Only one tree? I could have sworn we were collecting a bunch more of these trees. Where did they all go? It was like at least 10 or 15 that got collected. Maybe they ended up in these machines and then they ended up... Shouldn't have, though. You know what? What happens is a construction robot deletes the tree, puts it in a storage chest, and then a logistics robot takes it out of a storage chest and gives it to me. So temperate, desert, temperate. Okay, what are we... So we've got 7 of the swamp. 7 of the swamp trees ready to go. Alright. So each of these, even though every building is exactly the same, they're actually different buildings. So they have the exact same recipes, but they're actually different buildings. So you kind of have to slam them down separately. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of extra swamp trees. There we go. So we got a nice mix of all of them missing. There's another, what was that? Temperate that I just put in. Okay. Alright. So that'll improve quite a bit. Eventually we'll get to the point. What is this? That's a weird rock. That's a nothing. Puffer nest. Oh, I got tons of those little puffer things. I got no idea what to do with them, but we're not going to worry about that at the moment. What are we going to worry about? Oh, that belt. We need to actually make that belt. And we need to get some copper. Whatchamacallit's going? Copper? Oh, by the way, this is my train display. I need to expand it. I've got an idea of how I want to expand it, but basically it's saying we got plenty of ores. Well, we've got plenty of the raw ores, plenty of iron and copper, not enough tin and lead, plenty of sulfuric wastewater, not enough sulfur dioxide, plenty of sulfuric acid, blah, 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 blah. I really need a mineral catalyst in here somewhere, because that would be like -1 million at this point. But yeah, it's hooked up to my magical train logistics, train circuit network. So basically every single train that's requesting goods, it has a limit based on how many goods it's missing. And that limit is fed into the global circuit network as a red signal. And if a train is providing goods, then the station has a limit based on how many goods it has to provide, and then it puts out a green signal. So the green signal represents cargo wagon sizes. So for example, for copper ingots, there are enough copper ingots in the system to fill 35 train wagons. And there's one station, actually two stations now requesting copper ingots. So that means that there will be a bunch of copper ingot trains all the way going across. And we probably need a few more of those, because the fact that there was 35 provided and 3 being requested is not too bad. But if we had like 6 or 7 being requested, that would be a case where we don't have enough trains. But yeah, when I say 6 or 7 requested, it doesn't mean there's 6 or 7 different stations. It could be one station that's requesting 6 cargo wagons worth, which is kind of similar. You need a bit of power. This was going to be for the copper wire, wasn't it? Yeah. Ah, thank you very much, Billy. Yeah, well, the interesting thing about it is at some point I will probably build out the visual indicator, but I've just been too lazy. Every time I want to look at it, I just go to a station, I just hover over one of these wires, and I just look at it like that. But eventually, I will fill out the entire visual indicator, and I'll put it in a nice place, and I'll have it mapped. So you got like this will be a grid of 9, and this will be another grid of 9, and they'll kind of, it'll look nice, and I'll be able to look at it, and I'll be able to say, because this is the thing, right? I don't have a true logistic, because this is all vanilla. I got a few mods here and there, like the water fill, but I'm not using the LTN train mod. It's all vanilla, which means, and I didn't want to try and make a logistics train network because it has some significant drawbacks. So I've just got one train group per good. But if you do that, then when you've got a mega base and you've got 100 stations, it's very, very difficult to figure out, okay, what am I low on? Do I not have enough iron? Do I not have enough copper? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. You sort of have to say, okay, I don't have enough blue signs. Go to the station. Okay, what's it missing? Sulfuric hydroxide. Go to that station. That one looks fine. What's going on here? Blah, 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 blah. There's not enough trains. Blah, 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 blah. So with this display, it's just, it can tell you straight up exactly what's happening. Okay. So we could replace this line completely. And I think that's actually going to be the play, because this is almost dead, this thing. Okay, so that's going to be the play. Get the copper wire coils. Well, it'll be the play temporarily, I should say, because obviously these copper wire coils are not going to be around forever. I put them in thinking I would have them around forever, and then I decided, you know what, sheets are good enough. So, yeah. But we will chuck them in for now. And, yeah. Well, this actually really taking a long time. Because we're so low on tin. It's taking a really long time for that to actually run out. But I definitely do want this to completely run out before I switch in that other stuff. And yeah, the tin... We could give tin a boost here. The really interesting thing... That's copper. That's actually copper. The really interesting thing about priority, about these train systems, is it's all distance-based. So... I got tin here, and then I got copper in the iron. Iron will never run out of mineral catalyst. Well, I mean, obviously if mineral catalyst falls over, it'll run over, but it'll always prioritize mineral catalyst. If you got 3 stations that are empty, and one that's only requesting 1 train, because it's already got 2 trains worth full, it'll go to the closest one. It doesn't really understand spreading the load over multiple stations. It'll go to the closest one until the closest one is full. Now, we could reduce this to like 50 or 60, because this is how many stacks this station wants. Currently it wants 100 stacks. And it's currently only got 10 stacks. So we could reduce that so it requires less, and that'll spread it out a bit better. But what I'm just going to do for now is I'm just going to update the priority of this, set it up to 90, and as you can see, we already got a train going over to tin. And that'll give it a bit of a kick in the pants. But, yeah, mineral catalyst is something that we desperately need to fix. Oh, look at that. We already got up to advanced oil refining. Did I just say refining? Refining. We already got up to oil refining. Advanced oil Jesus Christ. This is what happens. Usually I do a 2-hour stream and I'm fine. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes and I'm completely... having said that, I've been losing it for like an hour now. But I'm happy. I'm happy. We've accomplished our goal. We've got blue science. We've got some research going. Once this research is done, this research right here, there is nothing stopping us from creating blue science in the megabase. Well, I mean, it's still going to take us a long time to do, but there's nothing stopping us. Okay. So, what are we... I don't think I want to do too much more in this episode. We'll still do a normal stream tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll start to get back into the megabase. This stream, I think I just want to... How is this still not drained? My God, this thing takes ages to drain. We're just going to do a little bit of faffing around. We're not going to build any more megabase blocks this stream. This stream is all about janky blue science, and that's it. It's actually backed up. Oh, that's backed up. Okay. Nice. Give me another one of these. Of course, from out of steel. Always out of either steel or stone bricks. And yes, our starter base mall is encroaching slightly on our Bolmonium. But well, I picked up steel. I did not... You know what? You know what? Screw it. Here you go. Might as well do this. I picked up those steel coils, so I might as well use the damn things. And look at that, we've actually got new stuff that we've unlocked. All of this brass that we will probably... We'll only use it if we have to, but yes, a ton of brass. And for those of you watching, I actually went through and I highlighted all of these guys. That took me like 10 different streams. Like every stream I went through and I highlighted a bit more to just get it out of the way. But we're very close, and now we're all good. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much, Billy Lemon. Yeah. Well, we're going to be going... What are we doing? You know what? Since I'm not really doing too much, I might as well... And since I've got so many viewers, I might as well give you a little bit of a base tour. Or more of a mega base tour. Because at the start, we've just got a janky wood design. A bunch of this sorting and crushing and smelting. And then it's all just regular base stuff. And then it just gets more spaghetti as you go on. In terms of the actual mega base, it's pretty good. So we've got these basically city blocks, but every block is like, it's all snapped, so you can move it and you can do whatever you want, and you can kind of build it like a Lego thing. And I've got a standard station design, which has 11 individual stations in it, and you can put whatever stations you want in it. And just paste it down like a Lego block, which is how I've been building all of these. And the stations itself are actually pretty awesome. So they're parameterized, and they've got all this crazy circuit stuff in there. So basically, this is a load station. It's taking the contents, it's dividing them by 200, which is a stack size, which is a parameter, dividing them by the cargo wagon size, which is 40, puts it into the limit, and Bob's your uncle, and then also puts on a circuit network. Now, the actual value of the cargo wagon size is actually C, because what's interesting in Bob's Angels is we actually get better train wagons later on. Like, this is the Mark III one, and it's got a storage size of 80. So eventually we'll get up to 80. We'll replace every single train in the system, and then all I have to do is change this value C, which I've got down here in this one comment. We'll just change C, and every single station will automatically update to the fact that they've got bigger cargo wagons now. I also got this F50K, that's for the fluid wagons. Now, as far as the designs that we've got this basic design. It takes in two different, the basic ores, crushes them, sends them up to be sorted, using the pure design, which takes in mineral catalyst and just spits out. But there's no lossy. It doesn't spit out slag. It doesn't spit out anything else. It's just pure ore. And this is definitely the build you want to use in a mega base, because the other recipes are just terrible. Like this one, it takes in 4, spits out 4 items, but also spits out slag and an ore that you don't necessarily want. Whereas the pure recipes, so much better, but they take in this mineral catalyst. Speaking of the mineral catalyst, we get that from here. We get it from crushing the stone, and also the slag. We turn that into this slurry. We also chuck in some sulfuric acid, and we then put this through this process using a coal filter to get out some mineral sludge, which also spits out some sulfuric wastewater, which we then put into a train as well to be sent off, and then it gets sent over and turned into a mineral catalyst. Now, this is part of a fairly complicated chain. The sulfuric acid we build over here, we get that from sulfur dioxide, which we get from sulfur, which we get from sulfuric wastewater, which we turn into sulfur using this water treatment plant. And the wastewater, we actually get a little bit of that from there, but we get most of it from here. So this is coal processing. So you get the coal and you crush it down to crushed coal. And you've got two options. Either you can... actually, I think this is the only one we're doing. I was planning on doing a backup, but I decided we didn't need to. So you can either turn crushed coal directly into coke, or you can mix crushed coal with purified water and turn it into coke with sulfuric wastewater as a byproduct. Now, the byproduct is kind of a waste product, but here it's actually very important. And then we turn the coke directly into carbon using some steam, and that's all pretty straightforward. So we've got 3 trains worth of carbon. Carbon, very important for later on stuff. Coke, also very important. You use coke to get 50% extra productivity when you're creating iron ingots using a second tier recipe. And we also ship the sulfuric wastewater out here. We also dump some of it if we got too much. And generally we do, because I'm constantly using this coke for other processes. And there is a way to get sulfuric wastewater directly out of just water or air or something like that. But it's a lot more complicated. It takes like hydrogen sulfide or something like that, or acid or something, I don't know. Yeah. And over here, I don't know if I want to get too much into this, but this is basically wood. Wood is extremely complicated. So basically to make wood, you have to actually have trees, and then you chop down the trees, and okay. So this process has been running despite the fact that I screwed this recipe up. Okay, that should be a loop. Let's go ahead and fix that. There was something else here, wasn't there? That was also broken. Yeah, there we go. Let's fix that. Let's go fix that. Okay, yeah. So basically you cut down these trees. You get the trees over here. Basically you grow them in these greenhouses using tree seeds and soils. You get the tree seeds from these wacky tree seed generators using soil. And then the soil is quite messy. You have to make it using compost and sand. We get the sand from washing. Basically you take water and you take this mud stuff and then you send it through this washing process and you get some sand out of a certain part of it, and then you throw the sand together with the compost. And the compost, in the original base, I was actually taking wood and composting it. So you take some of the wood you produce, you feed it back into a compost, and that's how you get compost. In here we decided not to do that because I didn't want to throw away my wood. So instead we're using saline water to create this brown algae, and then you can compost the brown algae to get compost, and that requires a pretty big build to get as much compost as you need. But altogether, that gives us 4 full red belts of wood, 120 wood per second, which is probably too much, but it's a mega base, so I built that much because I wanted to. And then the rest is basically just, so we got iron, copper, tin, and lead, and then we got ingots for the same. Iron, as you can see, we're mixing in coke and using processed iron to get it done. With copper, you do something similar, except instead of coke, you mix in some oxygen over here. Tin, same as iron, you just mix in coke. And then for lead, it takes in a bit of a weird thing. So you process it, and then you turn the process into lead oxide by mixing in some oxygen, and you get some sulfur dioxide, which we actually send out to a station all the way over here because we ran out of stations, and this sulfur dioxide gets sent back in as an input process to making sulfuric acid, so we use up less sulfuric wastewater. And then to make the actual ingots, you just need the lead oxide and a bit of carbon. And what the hell is going on over here? Okay. Apparently this hasn't been much of a problem for me to actually need that, but sure. And then over here we got steel ingots, which is basically just iron into steel ingots and takes in a little bit of oxygen, and you're all good. Yeah, when later upgrades come online, my plan is, okay, so right now all of these builds are basically, they're built using yellow belts, but they've got enough machines to support red belts. What I'm eventually going to do is the station layout is exactly the same, but it's going to be using max level belts. So at the end, you get all the way up to green belts, which are 75 items per second, as opposed to yellow, which are 15, and red, which are 30. And so this is going to be producing 75, 300 tin ore per second in the end game. And I'm just going to update this. If we need more machines, I'm going to add them. If we can get away with the same amount of machines, great. It's going to be a little bit awkward with the productivity modules, but yeah, 300 tin ore per second should be good. And if we need more than that, then yeah, that's when I'll create a new station. I might squeeze in stations between, but I've left this space for blueprints. This is my solar block, and I'm just going to chuck that in all the spaces in between, and it's going to be awesome. I can't use it yet because the solar block requires substations, and substations are a blue science item which I haven't unlocked yet, and I'm pretty sure they require red circuits. But yeah, once I've got that going, I will get a ton of substations. I'll get a actual station building solar components using Megabase stuff, and at that point we will just go absolutely nuts and put solar everywhere, and solar will be our main base actual power. We're not going to use any power other than solar because it's a Megabase is what you'd have to do. And then when it comes to iron, we're doing everything in sheet coils. So I've probably mentioned them a couple of times before, but the point of sheet coils is yeah, the sheet coils are way better at transporting on trains because they still stack to 200, but basically each sheet coil is for actual plates. Yeah, don't worry about it, Billy. You're not distracting anything. I don't have a deadline or anything. I'm just keep on talking because here's the thing. Most time I have 3 or 4 people watching the stream max. For some reason I have 20. So I'm happy to give a tour because there's actually a lot more people watching. So I might as well let them know what's going on. And then we've got copper over here, and we're creating both the copper wire coils and the copper sheet coils. So as the sheets go into plates, the wire coils go into copper wire, and that way you don't have to have, instead of having an extra step where you create the sheet coil into plate and then into the wire, instead you just convert this directly into wire, which is really nice. And exactly the same thing for the tin. You got the tin wire coils and the tin sheets. And why is this so slow? I guess tin is still not coming through. I could have sworn, I mean, I fixed this up, so mineral catalyst is now the highest priority. I guess it hasn't quite, it's starting to filter through. We got 3 belts of the tin ore coming through, but it'll take a while. I think we may get distracted on our progress of making blue signs in the Megabase by getting mineral catalyst fixed with that crystal process that I talked about. But that's a big build. That's a very big build. And then this is steel. We take the steel ingots in, and then we put out the steel plate coils, steel sheet coils, and they're basically just going to the starter base. And eventually, molten steel, we're going to be upgrading this recipe eventually because, oh, there we go. Look at all those new ones. That is just, that's a thing of beauty. Yeah, you can actually make steel using this recipe instead. So steel to steel, or steel and silicon to molten steel. And this recipe is actually way better because the thing about steel ingots is, where is it? A steel ingot takes 4 iron ingots. So it's 4 to 1. So if you think about it that in terms of ore, you are losing so much ore to make steel. So you basically divide it by 4. So the fact that we can mix silicon in, and silicon is still 1 to 1 with the ore, it's probably not as good as iron because, look, iron you've got this 50%, which just takes coke, gives you an extra 50%. Silicon, we don't have that yet. I'll probably get that eventually, but we don't have that yet. But it's still way better than just using steel by itself. There's also this manganese. I'm not getting into manganese. Screw that for a joke. It might be better in the long run, but not going to worry about it. But silicon, we'll start to use silicon because that'll make steel a lot more efficient and put a lot less pressure on our iron build. And speaking of pressure, the paper is going slow. This is running out here. This is... That's full. Waiting. Hello. What's going on here? Okay. All right. The copper finally fell over. All right. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to fix up this copper, and then we are going to move along and finish off the stream. And we'll get back to regular mega base building probably tomorrow, I guess tomorrow morning. And yeah. So I don't think I'll be doing like a bonus stream a lot, but I just really wanted to do one because I was thinking all week about how to get this done, how to get this blue science done, and it really was actually worrying me that it might take a very long time, and that usually I'm I mean, this is Factorio chill, so usually I'm pretty chill about getting close to my goal and then saying, oh, it's been 2 hours. I'm going to go back on and we're going to continue the next one and be chill. But with this blue science, I really wanted to just get it done in one go. So that's why we did the bonus stream, because then I can just keep it going as long as I want. And there we go. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And now we've got these guys working again. And we're actually out of green circuits there, but that is fine. And you know what? I'm not sure I'm going to worry about this stuff too much, the paper speeding it up. I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go. But we do need to do something about... Because now I'm almost relying on tin in my starter base. Which means we definitely need to fix up tin in the mega base. Because I'm trying to get that across, which means we definitely need to fix up mineral catalyst. Maybe that's what I'm going to do next. Instead of charging like a bull for blue science in the mega base, I think we need to go into this. We need to do this first. Just take it and go with it. Make that our next progress, because so we've done that. These are notes. Oh, that's also a note. That was just me thinking that if I couldn't get enough power from solar, because we were having power problems. Power is still okay. It's gotten a bit better, but that's because the robots aren't doing as much. But the power, you can see it was in a bit of a state. It's sort of gotten a bit better. But yeah, I was just thinking if we absolutely needed an alternate source of power, then we could go in beans. And if you watch Dosh's C-base video, that's how he got all his power. And of course he was playing Bob's Angels, which is basically this, so we could do the same thing. We tried other sources of power that weren't very good. I don't want to go for plutonium power because that's going to be an absolute... It's going to be annoying. It just is, and we need blue science anyway for it. But I think we're just going to keep pushing on, get solar, and we should be fine. And then sulfur processing 3 is a way to get... Basically, you get sulfuric wastewater from water. And you have to use a little bit of lime. And then you also have to... Yeah, it's weird. You can get free sulfuric wastewater using this process. And you get some acid gas, which you can throw away or use. And so that's... I'm just making a note of that. I'm throwing away so much sulfuric wastewater from various processes that I don't think it's ever going to be a concern. But I'm keeping that in my back pocket. If we ever start to run a net negative on sulfuric wastewater, then that's there waiting for me. Okay. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I'm missing? I don't think there is. I think that's it. I think we're just waiting for the signs to go through, but we got all the signs we needed. And now we're just waiting for the rest of the signs to go through, and that'll give us robot speed and everything else. And it's all good. Okay. I think I'm done. I think I should go have dinner. I think I've probably been streaming long enough today for a bonus stream. And yes, please do let me know what you think, and if you're going to tune in tomorrow and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, all right, I'm going to finish off now. I'm going to stop rambling, but thank you very much for joining me today. I do hope you enjoyed the Mega Base, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 8 a.m. Australia, which is right now it's like 6 p.m. Australia, which I thought would not be as popular as 8 a.m., but who's to say what I know. So anyway, I'm about done here. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you guys later.